Hello everyone. So I just wanted to read through this list of important points that I really want you to take on board for your home learning, okay? So firstly, this slide is going to be at the start of every single video. You don't need to listen to it every time. It will be the same information, but it's there if you need to go back and check anything, okay? So just listen to it this first time and then you can skip through it. So you need to send me a picture of your work on Show My Homework or via my email address, which is there. All right, that's how you're going to show me that you have completed the lesson. If the slide says optional, which will normally just be at the end, okay, for maybe the plenary or something, this means that you only complete it if you would like to, but just that one slide, all right? I will chase work from after 9 a.m. on the following day. Okay, so if you have not submitted it to me, I will be messaging you on Show My Homework asking for it. If you don't come back to me, that gets passed on to your house managers who will make a call home, okay? So where I've put a picture of a phone camera on a slide or video, all right, this means I probably think that's a good task for you to photograph and send to me as proof, excuse me, that you have completed the lesson, all right? You must treat this like a normal lesson, guys. You need to listen to my narration, pause the video to work on tasks when you need to, and you can go back to revisit different bits as well. Where there's a green box and an arrow somewhere in the video, that means I'm pointing to something that you won't be able to access on the video. So a clip from YouTube or a worksheet. That's when you need to pause the video, go back to Show My Homework, find the link, it will be there where this piece of work is, all right, or find the document for the worksheet. If you can't open the video, then there is a PDF and you can work through the tasks as best as you can. They're exactly the same thing though. We've also created a History Team YouTube channel called History Scholar. All of the videos, all of these narration videos will all be on there, okay? So there's be a playlist for your year group. Go into your year group and you, as me as your teacher, need to be looking for the one that says Miss West and then the lesson that you're after, all right? I would advise you copy out tasks onto paper. You won't need to print anything, okay? But if you are completing work on a computer, then I would really advise that you only do that if you're able to print it. Because you need to bring, which brings me on to my next point, which is super important, you need to keep all of your completed history lesson work safe. All right, you need to bring it in with you when we're back in school, and we will spend our first lesson gluing it into your books. I will then collect your books and mark the work that you have done, all right? So if you've completed your work on a computer, you must print it or start completing it on paper. Everybody is off, guys. So if everyone sent me their work to print, I'm at home too. Okay, so I'm not in school because I'm isolating as well. But I expect to see that work when we return to school. All of the work, the whole lesson for all of the lessons that you've been set. If you've got any questions or there's anything that you're unsure about, then just send me a message on Show My Homework or email me and I will do my best to answer you, okay? Enjoy the lessons. Please work hard. We have to remember that we have to treat this like we were still in school. So there's no excuse. You wouldn't not do your history work in my lesson, so there's no excuse to not do it now, okay? So good luck. Message me if you've got any questions. Hello everyone. I thought I'd just do some narration for you as we go through the slides so that you guys can hear my voice and I can hopefully explain things. It's very difficult to get all of the things you want to say onto a slide. The first thing that I want to just remind you of is you need to just treat this as a normal lesson, okay? I know you don't have your books, but you need to have some lined paper or plain paper. You need to write out the title, the lesson objective, the keywords, just as you normally would. As you go through and you see the tasks, you need to write them out on your paper. Once you've got to the end of the lesson and you have that lesson all there and done, you just need to put it into a folder and bring it into school with you when you are next in. And you need to do this for all of your history lessons because what we'll do is we'll just glue the work into your books. Okay, I will then collect your books and I will mark that work. Please don't send it to me and Show My Homework. As much as I love to see the work that you guys have done, the whole of year 7 are off. So that's 180 students sending work because I teach nearly all of the year 7 classes. Okay, so don't send it to me and Show My Homework. I'm confident that you're going to do it. Do it on paper bring it when you come back. And when we are back, our first lesson, we'll spend some time gluing everything in and making sure that everything is in your books and in the right order. But if you have got any questions or you're stuck on anything, you can message me and share my homework, and I'll answer the questions for you as best I can. The second thing that I just wanted to say was around the feudal system. So I know you had a lesson on Friday with a cover teacher. I did add some audio to that, but the cover teacher has said to me that it didn't work, which is a real shame. However, I don't know if you finished that lesson, guys. So I've attached the feudal system PowerPoint, and just open the PowerPoint, try and remember where you got up to in class. If you think, actually, I don't remember any of this, start again. Okay, make sure you draw out the feudal system triangle. That's really, really important. If you think, no, we did get to the end, that's fine. Just end where you need to end and go on to the Domesday one. So that could be the first thing that you do, is if you just go back now, open the feudal system PowerPoint, double check whether or not you need to finish anything on it, finish it. When you finished it, come back to this Domesday PowerPoint. So for a little starter here, guys, I just want you to have a little bit of a think, okay? You can see that picture there of that box. It's got 3 locks on it. 3 people each had a key to it. And it's reinforced with 3 big leather straps. Leather's a very tough material and quite hard to get through. So I want you to just have a little bit of a think what could be in that box, okay? So you've got treasure, a book, or crown jewels. All right, so have a little bit of a think. You don't need to write anything down, but you just need to be having a think about what could be in that box. This is just a quick start to get you thinking. So if you correctly said that it was a book, well done, okay? And that's me hoping that you didn't go forward one slide and cheat, but I know none of you guys would do that. So it was a book, which is a strange thing to be locked up with 3 different keys and protected by 3 leather straps. So what we really need to think about, and what we're going to be thinking about this lesson, is learning about what was in that book that made it so important, okay, and what William actually used it for. So in 1085, so we are 19 years now after the Battle of Hastings, okay, so William's obviously a lot older. He orders a survey of England to find out what people owned. He wanted to know what people had. All right. His officials took over a year to visit 13,000 different villages, and they spoke to every single household. So what I'd like you to do, guys, in the yellow text there, it says, write a list of what questions you think his officials might ask. You can give this a little mini title, My Domesday Question Ideas. Just try and come up with 5 different questions that you think they could ask, okay? There's no right or wrong, it's just what you think. So hopefully you can see some of the example questions now that are on the slide. Hopefully some of you guys got some of these questions. So these were the sort of things that they asked. Well, who lives in this house? How long have you lived here? How old are you all? How many sheep, goats and animals do you have? And they wanted to know the exact number of how many chickens someone had, and you know, and how what crops did they grow? You know, do they grow crops? Do they just have animals? How much land do you own? Does anyone work on the land for you? So there are lots and lots of different questions. So what I'd like you guys to do is, there are 2 links there. You won't be able to click on them, I think, because in the format that I'm going to send this PowerPoint in, you won't be able to click on those links. But if you go back to where I set this work on Show My Homework, you will see 2 YouTube links. One, which is the longer one, which is the Domesday story, and then the other one, which is just a little sort of funny one from Horrible Histories, because I know that you guys like that. Okay, so the links are back on the Show My Homework page for this piece of homework at the bottom. So click on those and have a watch of the clips. So hopefully you guys all managed to watch the clips and they worked okay. What I want you to do is have a go at the question in bold on the slide, which says, answer the following. Why did William carry out a survey, and why did people call it the Domesday Survey? So you had to listen really hard in that last clip for it to tell you why people called it the Domesday Survey, what the reason for that was. So hopefully you were listening. If not, you might need to go back and listen to it again. So I've put a couple of sentence starters up for you to help you start your answer. So you've got William carried out a survey because, or the reason that William conducted a survey in England was so. You can use either of those. Now, if you're finding that task really, really hard, you can copy out the sentence below and fill in the blanks. Or you can do that and have that to help you make your own answer. Okay, so just do your best and get that done. So the sort of information that William got when the book was completed, okay, it did take a long time, so it wasn't completed until 1086. What it told William, some other information, was it told him that the population was about 2 million people in the whole of England. So if we put that in a bit of context, today, the population of England is about 67 million people. So you can see there that England had a lot less people in it back then, but we are going back nearly 1,000 years. About 10,000 of those people were Norman settlers. So they were people that had come over from Normandy in France to settle in England because William was the new king and they could now do that. And less than 5% of the land was still under Anglo-Saxon or English rule, only 5% of it. And you can see from the pie chart on the right-hand side who owned the rest of the land. So what I'd like you guys to do is to copy out the bullet points that I've just read out and to copy the pie chart out. You're going to need a compass or something round to draw around, maybe a cup or something, okay? You must make sure that it's a proper circle, guys, and you need to do it in a pencil. So draw it out and write in the labels. You can draw the little pictures on there too, okay? So make sure you're dividing it as best you can to show what's on there. You can colour it. And you can also write the 2 little green facts that I put on there as well. So William didn't even get to see the finished book. He died in 1087 after falling off his horse. And he would not have been able to read it anyway because he couldn't actually read. So someone would have had to read it to him regardless. So just get everything down on that slide. This is sort of your main task for today. So do make sure you're taking your time on it. Okay. So we've looked at what sort of things were asked in the book. Then we've looked at what we found out from the book. But now we just need to spend a bit of time thinking about why he wanted to know this information, okay? So he had 3 main aims from questioning all the people. So the first aim was he wanted to know how much tax each person could afford to pay. William didn't have much money, okay? And this was a great way for him to make money from the people. So if someone had a lot more land and had a lot more animals and farming a lot more crops, he would tax those people more than someone that just had a very small farm with only maybe 1 or 2 animals on it. So that was his first aim. His second aim was to know how many men he could get to, oh sorry, there's a spelling mistake there, how many men he could get to fight for him. Okay, so this was a really good way of knowing if someone did invade and he needed an army of men, how many men of fighting age there were in England, and they would be expected to fight for him if they needed. So it was really important he knew how many there were. And then the third aim is to discover which areas liked or disliked William. This was really important to him because, you know, we looked at the harrying of the north and we looked at the rebellion of the people in the north, okay? But there were other pockets of areas in England where William was not very popular at all. And they were a threat to William, okay? He was worried these people might rebel. So what he tended to do when he found out if a whole area didn't like him, he would build castles around that area to keep an eye on him. He would put his men in the castles and they would keep an eye on the people in the villages. So it was a really good way of just controlling the people. So what I'd like you to do, guys, is copy that out for me. You can copy it out in any way that you understand it. It doesn't need to look exactly like it does on there. As long as it's got the text on there, that's absolutely fine. And this is our final task for today before we move on to our plenary. So I want you to have a look at the text in the brown box. That is an extract from the Domesday book about a village called Patcham. Okay, so it's a real piece of writing. It's been changed so that we can read it because back then we wouldn't have been able to read what they wrote very easily. You guys certainly would have, and neither would I. It's very tricky to read. So this is made in more of a simpler text so that we can understand it. So I want you to read it, and then you can see there on the left are 7 questions based on what is in the text that I would like you to answer. And remember there, the bold word where it says full sentences. So please make sure, guys, remember, an answer to a question. For example, question 6, how many pigs? You do not just write 10 pigs. You need to write the village of Patcham had pigs. Okay, so make sure you are writing in full sentences. It's really, really important. And this is the final bit from me, guys. I just thought it might be nice. Normally we would do this where you would create a quiz for the person sitting next to you. But obviously as you're at home, you can't do this. So write a quiz, just a brother, a sister, a parent, a grandparent, anyone you want. You can even send it to one of your classmates if you would like to. Okay, but remember when you're writing the quiz, you also have to know the questions and the answers to the questions before you write them. Okay, you can't be a quiz master without knowing the answers to the questions. So that's really, really important. There'll be another lesson put up for you guys tomorrow, and that is going to be on how the Normans changed England, and I will do some narration over that one as well. Have a great day, guys.